Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The two dictators met today. That is Lukashenko and Putin. The president of Russia and the dictator of Russia, my bad, and the dictator of Belarus. And they talked about certain things that the West doesn't like dictators to talk about, and which is guns and weapons and alliances. So let's see what they did. Lukashenko, who is a very faithful, interesting guy, not faithful that he's going to do anything for Putin without anything in return. He thanked Putin. Well, that's very nice, isn't it? So let's see what the Ukrainians are reporting about the meeting. And this meeting occurred today, as I said, on Monday, the 19th of December, in Minsk, the capital of Belarus. Lukashenko thanks Putin for the S-400 and Iskander, already put on combat duty. The S-400 anti-aircraft missile system and the Iskander missile system were put on combat duty in Belarus. Source: press conference of Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, and Alexander Lukashenko, the self-proclaimed President of Belarus. I don't understand something. I find articles from Ukrainska Pravda or from the New Voice of Ukraine, and they call, or Ukrinform, they call Putin sometimes dictator, or, and here, look, Vladimir Putin, the President of the Russian Federation. That's proper, title naming. Quote from Lukashenko, and I'm quoting obviously. Today we put on combat duty the S-400 system, which you, Vladimir Putin, handed over to Belarus, and the Iskander system, which you also handed over to us. Congratulations. End quote. Lukashenko has added that he has concerns regarding the situation on the perimeter of the Union state, first of all in the West. End quote. So he's a little bit scared about in the West, the Poles or who? The Lithuanians, who's going to be around them to do something to them. During the meeting in Minsk, Putin and Lukashenko also discussed joint production of new military equipment and training of Belarusian military pilots by Russia. In October 2022, Viktor Krenin, the Minister of Defense of Belarus, said that Iskander short-range ballistic missile complexes and S-400 missile air defense systems will soon be supplied to the Belarusian army. And another article here from the same origin, Ukrainska Pravda, the same date, they also talk about Russia, that Russia will train Belarusian pilots on aircrafts with special combat unit. They are merging their military more or less. In Minsk, Russian and Belarusian dictators. Did you see this? So this is Ukrainska Pravda, the first one. The first article was Lukashenko thanks Putin for S-400, and they said Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, and Alexander Lukashenko, the self-proclaimed president. Now these are called the next one. The second one is again from the same source, Ukrainska Pravda, written by Olena Roschina. Is the Rothschild? Oh my bad. And the other one was written by whom? It doesn't say. It's just Ukrainska Pravda. So Miss Roschina called them dictators. In Minsk, Russian and Belarusian dictators, Vladimir Putin and Alexander Lukashenko, discussed joint production of new military equipment and training of Belarusian military pilots by Russians. Source: Vladimir Putin at a press conference in Minsk, broadcasted by Kremlin-aligned news outlet RBC TV. So again, I think these guys should make up their mind. Are they dictators? Are they just presidents? Self-proclaimed? What the hell are they? All over the above. Alexander Lukashenko, the self-proclaimed president of Belarus, and Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, what the hell is going on? Are having meetings in Minsk. The first one was just a characteristic, that's the way their character is, dictators, and the other one was their title. Let's cut her some slack on that one. are having meetings in Minsk and giving press conferences between the talks. Belarus will start chairing the Collective Security Treaty Organization on January 1st, Putin said. Joint military planning is being conducted between the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus. The Russian-Belarusian regional group of troops is operating measures are currently being taken to coordinate the coordinate the combat of units and military units on the territory of Belarus, and a unified air defense system has been created and is on combat duty, Russian president emphasized. And I'm quoting again, we agreed to continue jointly to take all necessary measures to reliably ensure the security of our two countries, to give priority attention to the training of our troops, to increase their combat readiness, combat capacity, and to continue the practice of regular joint exercises and other measures of operational and combat training, to carry out mutual supplies of requested weapons and jointly engage in production of new military equipment. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna put all this together. Putin said this form of cooperation is not our invention, since the USA has been conducting similar measures with NATO allies for decades, and the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus allegedly do it because of the quote-unquote tense situation on the external borders of the Union state. Yeah, blood brothers, remember? So they are fighting the common enemy, as the other ones are fighting evil wherever they find it on this planet, and they bring freedom and democracy. Okay, that's how the story is supposed to ring in our heads. Well, I made another video where I talked about Putin arriving in Minsk, and Putin arrived with a big entourage. Sergei Shoigu landed, right, the defense minister. Then it was Sergei Lavrov, right, the foreign minister, and Peskov. Now Dmitry Peskov is just but and others. It's just that it's a big delegation of Russians, and I think it was also it was also a chief of some spy agency or security agency, something like that, who also came. These were the names and the numbers, the names and the titles provided by the previous article. So it seems like they make a big move, a big leap, how some of my friends like to refer to these kind of things. And they're not going to invade Ukraine. I'm, again, certain that they, not certain, 95% certain they will not invade Ukraine. 5%, it's stupid if they do, but they know better, right? As the Ukrainians, they know their stuff better over there than we do, because they have the information, and they are the ones who allow us to get information. Whatever information they allow us to have, we have. The same with these guys here with the free mass media. Whatever they give us many times is vetted by others. Remember there was an issue in Vietnam where I think Nixon asked, asked the New York Times, I can't remember if it was New York Times, I think so, asked them not to release a piece of news until something else happened. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was the bombardment of Laos and Cambodia. That was unofficially happening over there. They were bombing the shit out of those people, unfortunately, without having any authorization or any information provided with the news. And I think the New York Times, I'm not certain, something like that it was. And one of the mass media, the newspapers got, what's going on? And they wanted to write, the next day, but then those guys somehow found out and said, hold on, let us figure things out. Let us cover our butts, and then you can do whatever. And since then, before that, they were communicating. Can we say that? No, don't say that. Hold on, hold it. Let us do this, and then you can release to the weasels, you and I, and the rest of us. But maybe not. Guess. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.